Hello and welcome to another video, and this is part 2 of building the BigBeigeBox, and today we're going to be picking out a motherboard. I'm going to just pick up this IO shield and see which one's the keyboard. Oh, the bottom one's the keyboard. Okie dokie. And just because this isn't plug and play, I know, award plug and play BIOS, yet PS2 isn't plug and play because it's just not designed to be. Now we're going to hit the power supply on, and hit the power on, short those, and just sort of hit delete. So 64K. Okay, so it's just a boring, not in focus BIOS screen. So we've got standard CMOS set up. We can set the date and time. It's actually got the correct date and time. Is that the correct time? 23:56? 6 minutes off, but yes. Otherwise, yes. All these are auto. Halt on all but keyboard. Wait, I hit enter. Can I not change that? All but keyboard. Alright, so if I go down to it, can I like change it? No. Select item, change color. Page up, down, plus or minus. Okay, we're gonna do plus and minus because those are here. All but keyboard. Okay, and as you can see down right here, this is Shift F2 to change color. And that one's nice. I actually really like this motherboard already. This is the one I just broke. We have a boring white one. We have exciting colors. Oh, we have disgusting colors. PCI ISA BIOS. We have this. And back to the original one. No, wait. I probably cycled all the way through. I'm just an idiot. We're gonna try and get to the one I said was nice. I forgot which one it was. Oh my. Shift F2 changes the color. Just had to quickly do this. Memory parity type integrate. Security option. Setup. System. Setup system. Okay. IDE second channel control. What is that supposed to mean? I don't know. PCI VGA palette snoop. Non-OS2. OS select for DRAM greater than 64 megabytes. We don't have greater than 64 megabytes. But let's see, non-OS2, OS2. Okay, so OS2 is, in case you didn't know, an operating system that Microsoft, this was about Windows 2.0 days. Microsoft was helping IBM make OS2, which they thought was going to be the next operating system, but then Microsoft and IBM had a falling out, and they didn't want to help each other anymore, and they made Windows 3.0 instead, and OS2 actually had Windows 3 in like a little virtual machine. Anyways, video BIOS, shadow, chipset features. Let me try that again. Bank 0, 1, DRAM timing, 70 nanoseconds, 2 and 3, 4 and 5. SRAM cycle length, SDRAM bank interleave, DRAM read pipe, sustained 3T write, cache read, CPU write pipeline, read around write, cache timing, video BIOS cacheable, system BIOS cacheable, memory hole at 15 megabyte address, AGP aperture size, 1 chip USB, not USP, power management, disable, PM controlled by APM. What's a PM? F1 help. Okay. Video off option, suspend off, video off method, vertical, horizontal sync and blink, modem use IRQ3 I guess, soft off by power button, instant off, or delay 4 seconds, instant off. Instant off. So I can actually turn on these. Minimum savings. Hard drive power down. Disable. Doze mode. Disable. Suspend mode. Disable. But if I go to this, I can set when to power down the hard drive. So we can go quarter of an hour, 15 minutes. PM events. Wait. Power management events, VGA. Oops, nope, go back. VGA on off. LPD and COM, hard drive, floppy drive. Yes, we have a IRQ13 coprocessor, hard drive, reserved, PS2 mouse, reserved, redirect, alarm, floppy disk. Yeah, those are just IRQ stuff. I don't know how to set any of that up, and I don't really care to figure it out because I'm going to be running Windows 98 and 98 can set everything up. So, plug and play. Plug and play OS installed. Windows 98 is plug and play, I think. But I don't have an OS installed. We're just testing what abilities these things give us. IRQ, I don't care to set IRQ stuff. I'd have to do research about that. Interrupt request, that's what it means. I'm an idiot. I just realized it. So IRQ, the processor, I think has interrupt request lines. And you can assign certain ones to be able to do that, and I think it's where it can interrupt it. Yeah, when it gets interrupted, it's able to go to a specific point in RAM, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. So, it, if we want some code to run every now and then, we can just have an IRQ assigned to it, like IRQ3, and just have, so that when we want that code to run, we just send an IRQ, interrupt request, and it will jump to that code. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to set that up. I don't need to. I think that's what it is. Don't quote me. Load by, no. Load setup defaults. Okay, so we have setup, and now I guess we have BIOS stuff. Integrated peripherals. On-chip IDE first channel, second channel, prefetch mode, block mode, primary master, PO? Secondary master and slave, primary master, slave, UDMA, onboard floppy controller, onboard serial 1, to UART mode 2, IRQ7, onboard parallel port, onboard parallel mode, okay, supervisor password, no, user password, no. It looks like a virus. Blink, 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 blink. And press any key. IDE hard drive auto detection. Boop. No. Low level format. There's no hard disk here. Save and exit setup and exit without saving. So, just your standard stuff. I'm gonna plug in the USB. Let's see if the USB is plugged in. Delete. Let me just reset it. We can actually cycle power really quickly to it. That's really interesting. Escape. Okay, so it doesn't seem to support USB keyboards, though. This keyboard might just suck. I mean, it does appear to suck. Delete to enter setup. Delete. Alright, so it still gets that one. Let's try chipset features. On chip USB. Let's try enabling that. USB keyboard support. There we go. No, we are going to want to go over and save and exit. Yes. And it's going to save. We're not going to mess with the power. And now we should be able to just hit delete. Okay, yes, the keyboard does now support. So, this is the Dell. See, it's really light. Okay, so that's nice. We're going to just set this back to the way it was before. Which is with this disabled, and this disabled. Hit escape, go over, hit Y, hit enter. And we're gonna wait for it to show the screen again and turn it off. Okay, so this one has all the features you could ever need. It's not that hot, the processor, the heatsink on the processor. And that's it for this one. We're now going to be doing this motherboard. It's an ASUS motherboard. Now I'm actually getting everything prepared off camera. So this is a Pentium 3 motherboard, or Pentium 2, it doesn't really matter, it doesn't care. So, as you can see, Pentium 3 it has 4 RAM slots, but it only has 2 ISA and 5 PCI instead. And it has a GPU, of course. Ooh, don't drop that. It has 2 IDE, a floppy, and, you know, all the standard fan and stuff, and all the power and stuff. Now we're going to set this one up off camera. This is only the second out of 3 boards. I know, it's taking forever. But I don't plan on editing this one very much. I have a lot of dumb stuff I've been saying. I don't want to cut any of that out. Oh yeah, our graphic card's hanging on by the VGA cable. Okie dokes. And we're going to plug in both keyboards. There we go. This doesn't normally have a fan on it, the processor, so we're not going to put one on it. Now if I find out which one of these is for power, that's just the power supply going whoo. There's no indication it's running. It's not running. That's why the power supply turned on and turned back off. Because this motherboard is kind of defective sometimes. Pentium 2 processor. Let me just... I'm not going to refocus it. Just zoom in on that. Oh wait, I was covering up the processor. Intel's logo is weird and it's always been, always will. Always will be, I should say. And this one has a big, beefy heatsink. Also, these processors are on cards. Why? So that cache, remember, it was separate from the processor. It was a separate piece of RAM. Ugh. Also, this motherboard doesn't have that. Anyways, it was so that the cache could be easily tested outside the processor. Which one's power switches use? Nope, it did the same exact thing. Oh, the fan stayed on this time. Why isn't there video? I'm going to switch the RAM around real quick to the last slot instead of the first one. Nope, it just powered on, then powered off. I don't think this power supply is supposed to go completely quiet. Let's populate all the RAM, see if maybe we blew our RAM too. I hope we didn't blow our processor. So we have another 64 and a 128. I don't think you're supposed to build these computers in the dark. This one's much easier to get it to line up though, I think. Yeah, definitely. And that is one reason why I'm afraid of using this specific motherboard, because it's flaky. Really flaky. I bet you it's this Pentium 2. We're going to try the Pentium 3 in this motherboard one last time, because what happened is I tried one of the defective processors in this now defective board. See, I said now defective board, because it wasn't defective then, at least I don't think it was, until I tried a processor that had been out in the rain. Because all of them had been out in the rain. I was testing to see which ones would work. This one is probably the only one that does, even though it's showing signs of like corrosion and stuff. This one doesn't work. Let's see if the fan head would work at least. That's a vicious fan. And yes, they do indeed work. This one's a dud. So we're now picking between one that can run a Pentium 3, or one that can run a Pentium 1 or an AMD K6. It can only run 3 ISA and 3 PCI. They actually use the same expansion slot, basically. The cards are designed to be backwards from each other. This one isn't going to be too long to set up, I don't think. The only benefit this one has over the K6 is, first off, pinion 3, but also 4 IDE right there. 4. And an extra PCI, I guess, if that's important to you. See how these are really close together? Those, the ISA one right here, and the PCI one. They actually go to the same slot down here. Down here. They all have the same ports on the back, by the way. And the same amount of fan headers and stuff. I'm gonna turn it on. Alright, I found it. Please tell me I didn't kill this motherboard. I couldn't have killed the motherboard. Please tell me I didn't kill the pin 3. I couldn't have killed the pin 3. Try again. It started itself up? That's... Pinion 3 at 500 megahertz. Now we're gonna defy the rules and actually plug in the PS2, even though you're not supposed to, because it's not plug and play. Or to skip. It seems to have problems with that, but if I hit delete, we're gonna reset switch it. So, did I hit reset now? Alright, I hit reset now. We're gonna hit delete on this one. No, but that doesn't work. We're gonna hit delete on this. Yeah, oh yeah, by the way, this one also has the colorful thing. This one's like the same thing, but it has CPU soft menu too. Wait, this one does work. Let me just quickly do the good old control alt delete, or in this case alt control delete. We're gonna see if the delete key can open it on this dumb Dell. I never tried the Logitech on the other one, did I? We're gonna try the Logitech on this one then. We definitely will. Now does it detect this one? Okay, good, I didn't blow this. This has diagonal arrow keys. So I can go upright. See? Upright. Like that. Because it's a, the nifty, if you ask me, thing about the Gateway 2000 AnyKey is the fact that, here's my Logitech keyboard. It does support it. We're not going to use this one because I love this keyboard. Virus protection boot sequence. The neat thing about the Gateway 2000 AnyKey is that any key, hence the name, can be reprogrammed to do any other key, or even be assigned to like a macro, but I don't know if it was called that back then. It was called a program back then, I guess. Anyways, but I have the Wikipedia article printed out. Anyways, we're gonna go to CPU soft menu. We can change the frequency and stuff and the voltage. Turbo frequency, we can disable that if we want to. CPU power supply, CPU default, user defined. So how high can we go? Oh wait, that's going lower. 2.3. We can go from 1.3 to 2.3. Okie dokie. We're gonna go back to default. CPU operating speed. We can go anywhere we want, basically. It's a Pentium 3 MMX. Okay, so that's overclocking, as we call it nowadays. Standard CMOS setup. It's the same thing. Base memory, 640K, of course. Extended memory. Wait, I have to hit the left and right arrow keys to actually do that. EVGA. Wait. EGA, VGA, CGA, mono. Okay. Halt on all but keyboard. It's the same thing. Floppy 3 mode support. Now, it's basically the same thing. I don't know if the other one, I'll have to look back to the footage. I don't know if the other one had this memory thing over here, but it would have acted the same. But it's also got the F2 to change color. Oh, we don't need Shift F2. Oh, Shift F2 goes backwards, doesn't it? I'm smart. We're gonna leave it as this one because I like this one. That's why I said it as this. BIOS, yep, 8 minutes, that's probably enough. BIOS feature settings. BIOS warning. CPU level 1 cache, level 2 cache, L2 cache ECC checking, quick post, boot sequence. Boot sequence ext means, well, external means, so CD CA C ext. So what that ext means is whatever we set this to be. So SCSI, or let me just set that back real quick. You can do it UDMA 66, which I think I know what that is. Swap floppy disabled, boot up floppy seek enabled, because that gives a wonderful sound if I had this all set up. Numlock status on. ID hard drive block mode enabled, typematic, yeah, it's just all the same stuff. Typematic delay, characters a second 30. So I think that's when you hold down a key it repeats. Security options, setup or system, that was there in the other one. Palette snoop, PCI, VGA, palette snoop, non-OS2 or OS2, yep. Report no floppy drive for Windows 95. That is funny. That wasn't in the other one. Delay IDE initial sector, I guess? Processor number feature. Help. It's still just as useless as it was before. Chipset feature setup. Chipset feature setup. SDRAM CAS latency. Lead off command. Pre-charge control. Because that. Ooh. Okay, so we'll get to all that in a second. DRAM stuff. System BIOS cacheable, yeah, this is all in the other one. 8-bit IO recovery time. Memory hole at 15-16 meg? That's different from the other one. Passive release. Delayed transaction. AGP aperture size. Spread spectrum. So this is basically the one from the Pentium 1 board, but now with more stuff added. Like the overclocking menu. And I'm sure it would have been the same on the Asus one. This is the one we're going to use, just because of the overclocking. But we can change the warning temperature. From anywhere, its default is 70°C. We can go from 40°C, which is still quite high for my liking, to 120°C, which is too high for my liking. And it defaults to 70. I don't know why stuff is flickering. The N/A there is flickering. CPU con 2 temperature. System temperature. Fan speed RPM. CPU fan speed RPM. Oh, I'm putting it in backwards, okay. It's not telling me. It only says fan 2 and 3. I found fan 3. Okie doke. We're gonna plug it into fan 3 just because I can read that text on the motherboard and know it's fan 3. This is 0 RPM still. Lovely. We're gonna leave it plugged in there and reset after a moment. Anyways, we're gonna continue using my Logitech keyboard because I love it. Anyways. Oop, did I turn it off? Did it stop working? Let me just give it a quick Control-Alt, delete. It must be because I plugged it in. I shouldn't have plugged it in. But if I quickly hit the reset. Whoa, woo-wee. Oopsie daisies. I just shorted it on the speaker connector. Hopefully that thing still works. Okay, we're gonna turn it off. We're gonna turn it back on. We're gonna hit power, but we're gonna be insanely careful this time. Okay. I hope the speaker still works. We'll find out later on this episode of shorting the speaker connector for no apparent reason. Other than the fact that, hey, it made the video stop working, so that's fun. That means we killed something. And I shorted it. I should have just gotten out my test button. Oh, never mind. It works. It works fine. It'll probably work fine. and it'll probably continue working fine. Anyways, what did I reset it for? That was BIOS features, right? No. Chipset features. Yes. It still says 0 RPM for fan 3. So, maybe I have plugged into the wrong thing? I don't know. Power management. ACPI. User defined. That means this can run Windows Vista, technically. I doubt it. Video off after standby. Suspend off. Yeah. Does mode. Disable. Throttle duty cycle. 62.5. Because, let's just make it random. Why 62.5? Oh! It's because a quarter is 25, 50, 75, and 100. Whereas 8s are 12.5, 25, 37.5, 50, and then 62.5. Power button override. Resume by LAN. Power on ring. Power on by alarm. Or by ring. Power management timer events. IRQ those things enabled. VGA active monitor. IRQ 8 brake suspend. Mouse brake suspend. Yes, that's nice. IDE primary, secondary. Floppy disk. Serial port enabled. So I guess these will break it. Anyways, that is nice and all. Power management setup. PNP. Plug and Play OS installed. Yes, because I had Windows 98 installed at one point. Force update ESCD. I don't know what an ESCD is. Resources controlled by. Okay. Assign IRQ for VGA. IRQ for USB. VGA. Yep. PIRQ use. IRQ no. So we can choose, I guess, what IRQ it uses. We'll do auto because I don't know what I am about IRQs. No, it's not. Integrated peripherals. Onboard IDE 1 controller. Yes. Master, slave, master, slave. Onboard IDE 2 controller. Master, slave, master, slave. USB keyboard support via... why is the USB keyboard working? I don't know. Init display first. PCI slot. AGP. Okay, we'll leave it as that because I don't care. Keyboard, clock input, clock cycle, power on function, hotkey, control F1. Oh yeah, I did set that up because I love myself. And I'll demonstrate that in a second. Onboard serial port, yeah. Onboard infrared function. I have an infrared thing that I want to use soon. Parallel port mode. Yep. So these are just similar things to the other BIOS. Password settings. Okay, so they got rid of user and like system password, whatever the first one was. ID hard to nope. Save and exit setup. Alright, turned it off. I hit Control F1 and it turned back on. Alright, I turned it off. Now if I hit that button, which I have now set to Control F1, it works. Anyways, quick preview of what the any key can do. Anyways, that's gonna be it. I'm tired of working with this thing. So be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and if you don't want to do any of those things, I guess you can leave a dislike. But if you want to see the next video, be sure to turn on notifications. I mean, like, really want to get to 1,000 subscribers. Even 100, that'd be a lot. Anyways, that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching.